Chip. Thought I might tell y'all a little story today. This is something that happened to me when I was about 11 years old. When I was young, I sucked my thumb all the way up till about the time I was 11 years old. Well, when I was in the second grade, we lived in Kingsport, Tennessee. Kingsport, Tennessee was a nice little town. And the little fella next door was my best buddy. He was my running buddy. And during that time, his daddy got some metal bars and some wheels and built a little cart, cut it out, kind of making what he thought of as a little Batmobile for Steve, his son, and me to play on. We had a blast with it. Well, eventually my dad got transferred from Kingsport, Tennessee to Dothan, Alabama, then later on to New Orleans. We lived in Marrero, which is a suburb of New Orleans. And in New Orleans, they have parishes, they don't have counties. Marrero was a parish. And so when you came over the bridge from New Orleans across the Mississippi River, you would come into, I believe it was called Algiers, then Gretna, then you keep coming around, you come to Marrero. And we lived in Marrero. Well, when I was 11, I finally stopped sucking my thumb. You'll have to forgive me. I've got a little bit of a thing going on with my voice right now. I've got a little bit of laryngitis. So when I stopped sucking my thumb, and my mom realized, I hadn't even thought about it, I just quit doing it. Mom realized it and she said, it's time for you to get a reward because I am so proud of you for stopping that bad habit. So I had been thinking about it a little bit. And I said, I want some wheels and axles like we had on that cart in Kingsport. So there was a place that was kind of like a cross between a hardware store and an arts and crafts store. Almost like if you took Lowe's and crossed it with Michael's. So we went up there, we got those wheels and axles and things. And the little neighborhood we lived in, there was a lot of new construction going on. So we raided some of those places and got some of their scrap lumber. When the houses were complete, they would always have a pile of scrap lumber out there. Drug it home. Now, one of my favorite things was the old Hot Wheel cars. And Hot Wheels had a car called the Paddy Wagon. And it was a C-cab type hot rod. I thought it was cool, so I thought we'd take our pile of wood and wheels and axles and build ourselves a little C-cab type vehicle. So that's what we did. I took my dad's saber saw and cut out the plywood to make the side panels that looked like a C-cab pickup, a C-cab van type vehicle. Built the frame up, mounted the wheels, and had the front end set so we could steer it with a piece of rope. Even had put a little box, built a box where the engine should be. And it was a mess, but it was cute. Of course, the first person to get a ride in it was my mama. She thought she had to have a ride, so she got in it, and I grabbed the rope and pulled her around the neighborhood for a little bit. We had a blast on that thing, and we, to this day, I call that the Ramshackle Taxi, because it was a ramshackle mess. But it was a lot of fun. And it just shows what you can do if you, with a few odds and ends, bits and pieces, and a little bit of imagination. And that's one of those things. It was just such a great memory, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, y'all, that's my story for the Ramshackle Taxi. Hope y'all have a good day. God bless you.